The Zephyrian guards had stopped bringing food 3 months ago. Commander Vextal clicked his mandibles in satisfaction as he peered through the reinforced viewport into the prisoner's cell. The human sat cross-legged in the center of the cramped space, eyes closed, breathing steady. It was impossible. By all calculations, the creature should have perished weeks ago. "Still alive," muttered Subcommander Rilk, his chitinous plates rattling with nervous energy. The council grows impatient. They want to know why their psychological warfare isn't working. Vextal's compound eyes focused on the human's unnaturally calm demeanor. Captain Sarah Chen had been captured during the failed diplomatic mission to Kepler 442b. Intelligence suggested she was just another soft-skinned mammal from the backwater planet Earth. Weak, dependent on technology, incapable of true survival. The plan had been elegant. Starve her into submission, break her will, extract information about human military capabilities, then use her as leverage in the coming war. Instead, she had become an enigma that haunted his sleep cycles. The first week had proceeded as expected. The human had paced frantically, shouted demands, threatened consequences. She had searched every corner of the cell, found nothing but smooth metal walls and a single drain. No food dispensers, no water beyond the thin trickle that seeped from a crack in the ceiling during the facility's maintenance cycles. By week 2, Chen had grown quiet. Vextal assumed she was entering the final stages of starvation, becoming docile before death. He had seen it in countless other species, the resignation that preceded the end. But then the human had done something unprecedented. She had begun to eat the moss. The green growth that accumulated around the moisture seepage was considered a contamination by Zephyrian standards, a nuisance that maintenance occasionally scrubbed away. Yet Chen had carefully harvested it, examining each piece with scientific precision. She consumed it methodically, her face betraying no disgust at the bitter taste that had nearly made Rilk vomit when he'd foolishly tried a sample himself. "Sir?" Rilk's voice cracked slightly. "She's moving again." Through the viewport, they watched Chen rise gracefully to her feet. Her movements were slower than they had been months ago, but still precise. She approached the far corner of the cell where the lighting cast deeper shadows. With practiced motions, she began digging at a loose section of the floor plating with a small metal fragment, likely torn from her uniform's fastenings weeks ago. What she extracted made both guards recoil in revulsion. Insects. Fat, pale grubs that thrived in the facility's dark spaces. The human held one up to the light, examined it with the clinical detachment of a scientist, then consumed it whole. She chewed thoroughly, methodically, showing no sign of the nausea that would have incapacitated any civilized being. "She's been doing this every day," Vextal whispered, more to himself than to his subordinate. "Mapping their life cycles, knowing exactly when to harvest for maximum protein content." "It's unnatural," Rilk shuddered. "No sentient species would degrade themselves so completely." But Vextal was beginning to understand that degradation was the wrong word entirely. This wasn't desperation, it was adaptation. The human wasn't breaking under their torture. She was thriving despite it. Chen returned to her cross-legged position and closed her eyes. In the weeks of observation, Vextal had noticed her meditation periods were precisely timed. 20 minutes of absolute stillness, controlling her breathing, slowing her metabolism. She was conserving energy with the efficiency of a machine. A soft chime indicated an incoming communication from the High Council. Vextal activated the holographic display with reluctance. "Commander," the towering figure of Prime Counselor Thexara materialized before them. "Your reports grow increasingly disturbing. How does this human continue to survive?" "Prime Counselor, the subject appears to possess survival capabilities that exceed our initial assessments. She has demonstrated remarkable adaptability to extreme deprivation." "Impossible. Our xenobiological studies indicate humans require regular sustenance and comfortable environmental conditions. They are weak, dependent creatures." Vextal exchanged a glance with Rilk. Perhaps our intelligence was incomplete. Through the viewport, Chen opened her eyes and looked directly at the hidden camera. For a terrifying moment, Vextal felt as though she could see through the walls, could perceive him watching her. Her lips curved into the faintest smile, not of madness or desperation, but of quiet confidence. She mouthed words that the lip-reading software translated instantly. "I can do this longer than you can watch." The implications struck Vextal like a plasma bolt. This human hadn't simply survived their attempts to break her. She had transformed their prison into her proving ground. Every day she remained alive was a demonstration of human resilience that challenged everything the Zephyrian Empire believed about their intended conquest. "Prime Counselor," Vextal said carefully, "I recommend we reconsider our assessment of human capabilities. If one individual can adapt so completely to extreme conditions with such minimal resources, perhaps our invasion projections require revision." The hologram flickered with Thexara's agitation. "You're suggesting we abandon our plans based on a single specimen?" "I'm suggesting this single specimen represents something we don't fully understand. If humans can survive what would kill any of our warriors, if they can adapt to conditions that would break our will, what else might they be capable of when properly equipped and motivated?" On the screen, Chen had returned to her insect harvesting, moving with the patient efficiency of a predator who had learned to thrive in the most hostile environment her captors could devise. She wasn't just surviving, she was demonstrating that humans could find a way to live anywhere under any conditions for as long as necessary. The war, Vextal realized with growing dread, might not go as planned. Prime Counselor Thexara's image wavered as the implications settled over them all. In trying to break one human, they had instead discovered something far more terrifying than any weapon or fleet. They had discovered that humans were unbreakable,